Greetings viewers, welcome to my channel, and today's video is nostalgic. I have here a Digitech BNX3 workstation, and shout out to the Gear Facts page. I know that you've made quite a few videos on this, and thank you so much for those. I have the same pedal, and I've had it for probably since the early 2010s, but this pedal has been around since the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. It's had a pretty long production run, but I must be living under a rock because I only found out recently that Digitech, at least as the populace has known them, went out of business in 2018. They're now owned by, I think, Harman Technologies, so it's name only. It's nothing really being developed by the original team. So this is a little bit of a collector's piece, and what I wanted to go and discuss a little bit about, and this will certainly tell you how old this is. This thing is a dinosaur by today's standards, and I wanted to talk about the 8-track recorder. Now, from what I've been able to review from the history of this, is that this 8-track recorder was kind of brand new to the market, at least being in a pedal format. A lot of the devices coming out during the time that this pedal was on the market, there was a lot of standalone devices like digital audio workstations. The Korg D3200 is one that comes to my mind because I have one, actually two of them. And unfortunately, the biggest limitation for any recorder is memory. And this pedal, unfortunately, did not have a lot of internal memory. You only had 3 minutes of good quality, CD quality audio to store on this internal memory. And great for short ideas, for a lick, or something that you would do like a looping pedal and layer the loops around. This pedal was great for that. But being one of the really first generations of having this type of feature, it was severely limited in its memory. When the pedal was introduced on the market, it was coming in during a very volatile time, and I really think that Digitech backed the wrong horse. This does have an expanding memory card slot here, but it's the form factor that wound up failing. It's a dead format at this point. It's been a dead format for many years. It uses smart media cards. Smart media. If you don't know what a smart media card is, then you're too young to be watching this video. But a smart media card was a format where it was very wafer thin. It only got to be as large as 128 megabytes. That's as large as they ever got. There was talk at one point that there might have been a 256 card coming out, but just the way that the form factor and the way it was made that was the largest that they could make them. It would give you about 24 minutes, a little over 24 minutes worth of audio with a 128 megabyte card. Unfortunately, it also was prone to corruption. It had a lot of read and write errors, and for good reason, it became a dead format. You had compact flash, you had secure digital or the SD cards, you had memory stick, you had a whole bunch of other ones. I really wish they had at least put in a different format or at least done an upgrade. We never got to see a BNX4. There was a GNX4 which actually used compact flash type 1, and it had the ability to see up to 2 gigabytes worth of storage, which to me, even 1 gig of storage would have been absolutely amazing for this type of pedal, because really, do you really need that much? I don't think so. I mean, 1 or 2 gigs, far more superior than 128 megabytes. I mean, come on. Now, later on, they did come out with XD, which is very similar to smart media cards, and they sold these XD adapters to where you have an XD card here, and then you had the smart media side of it here. And I did make one years ago where it's got a 128 megabyte card here, and then the smart media section goes into here. But unfortunately, it's still the same problem. You still had read and write corruption issues, and for as well as it worked, it was not reliable. It would, corrupt the card, and you'd have to reformat. You'd lose whatever you were working on, and it just wasn't a very reliable storage source. But it worked when it worked, and it didn't work when it didn't. It was also very difficult to operate the 8-track, especially if you were trying to switch your effects and then operate the 8-track at the same time. They did sell this expansion foot switch, which is now pretty rare. I can't even find that on eBay, and I haven't found them for many years, but it's basically just a 3-button foot switch. Any 3-button foot switch would do. But expanded out the controls for the 8-track recorder so that you didn't have to change the multifunction buttons here, because if it's yellow, then you have the stomp box, amps, chorus, modulation, delays, all that stuff. Then if you press it again, then it goes to the red, which is all your rewind, erase, stop, record, play, and then you press it again, and then you have your set of, you can go up and down in the presets, and then you can set your different presets here like that. It's just a lot more complicated than it had to be. But, again, you can only put so many buttons on a workstation like this. Despite the pedal having all the limitations that it has, I still love it. It's something that I've certainly enjoyed over the years. I won't take it on a gig anymore. It's just not practical, but it's great to play here in the office with the practice amp. I'm going to play a quick loop that I made a couple years ago, and let me know if you recognize it. And I won't play the actual backing track because I don't want to get blocked, but enjoy. Have a good one, guys. Take care.